I'm like a kid.
I feel dizzy.
I need a song with just that helium scream, please and thank you. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at It's Lielers. And also do not forget to follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. Oops, we did it again. And this time it wasn't even planned. So yeah, it's been 3 weeks once again. And it wasn't intentional. It's been a hectic February. I will say that since it's already the first week of March now. Oh my God. I felt like, I don't know about y'all, but January and February felt so freaking long. And so with February, obviously I wasn't having so many plans and everything. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be good with the podcast. No, because it turns out if you hold off on New York stuff, like when you come back, you unpack, you do your laundry and everything, you should be good. That didn't go well with me. So I had to do so many chores just to reset like the way how I usually do my routine. And because I've been pushing so much from unpacking from New York, doing all that laundry, cleaning and all of that, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to have to go ahead and do that reset before we're back to normal schedule with the podcast. And while I was doing that, I was like, wait a second, since we're not going to do video podcasts into God knows when, it's going to happen soon. But again, it's just going to have to be when I have so much time in my hands, and it looks like that's not going to happen anytime soon. I got the idea of why don't I just go live on TikTok while I record the podcast so y'all can see what's happening behind the scenes. So we might start doing that next week. I didn't want to do it this week only because we have a lot of outdated information. So I was like, no, yeah, we'll do it next week once we get back into the routine. So make sure to follow my TikTok account again at Lielers. So there's that. But this week, we're going to be talking about possible new music from Sleep Token, the surprising collab with Corey Taylor and Bad Omens, a new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Twisted Metal Season 2, and last night's Elimination Chamber. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. Already we have some sad news to kick off this episode. In case if you guys didn't know, the actress Michelle Trachtenberg passed away at the age of 39. She was primarily known for Gossip Girl and Harriet the Spy. Her family actually declined for an autopsy report, but people are saying that probably the cause of death was failure of a lung transplant that she had. So she's been having some complications about it, and maybe that's what resulted of her passing. The other sad news is the passing of Hobbs, who is also known as The Rock's dog, who is a French bulldog. When I found out about this, I was very sad about it. We don't like it when, good boys and girls pass away because they cannot live longer than us. But yes, Hobbs unfortunately passed away, and The Rock posted on social media about it, and he did say that he's been numb over this loss. And I'm like, I can only imagine, but I'm so sad about these two. And I mean, it is what it is. This is part of life. People pass on and we gotta deal with it. The other thing is kind of like a fun rest in peace because it's approaching, and I was not aware that this was gonna happen. Have you guys remember using an app called Skype? This was literally before Zoom, Teams, all of that. Skype literally walks so every other software can run, literally. So it has been announced by Microsoft that Skype will be shutting down and retiring in May, but however, there's going to be some shift to its services to Microsoft Teams. So Oh well, I'm like, at the end of the day, like, I mean, at that time I don't remember using Skype, maybe like once or twice, but because I didn't grow up with internet, yeah, I never took advantage of that. But anywho, let's go ahead and kick off the movies category, starting off with Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. To celebrate the 20th anniversary, oh my god, I can't believe it's been that long, Star Wars is going to be coming back to theaters on April 25th, 2025. So I think a lot of people in our generation, not the generation before us, because they really hated those kinds of movies. I feel like our generation is going to be going to the movie theaters just to relive the memes, the moments, and everything that's been happening with this movie, because to this day we still talk about it. And obviously give this movie the moment it deserved, because come on, the prequel initiated the rest of the story. Sure, it came out after the original 3 movies, but still you understand more of why or how Anakin became Darth Vader. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that, but definitely check into it if you guys are interested in rewatching this in movie theaters. And you never know, maybe you and a bunch of other Star Wars fans are gonna start reciting the movie, especially the part where Obi-Wan's like, "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground," and then Anakin, "You underestimate my power." Obi-Wan, "Don't try it," and then so forth and so forth. But still, I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, hell, even I want to join into that. Now let's go ahead and move it along with Shrek 5. So we got a teaser trailer that shows how the new animation for Shrek 5 is gonna look, and it doesn't sit well with me and other people who grew up watching Shrek. So it looks like, you know, if you watch Shrek 3 and 4, you already see that Shrek and Fiona's kids are now fully grown, because we actually see one of them that kind of looks like a teenager. I would say maybe 15 years old or older. And then Donkey looks like he's losing hair and he looks pretty old. I don't know how to point out what Shrek and Fiona's is like look. I don't know. But people were saying like, wait a second, like, did they change the animation? And other people are saying, well, yeah, like, everything gets modernized, and that includes, you know, the animation for Shrek 5. Me, honestly, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'd rather have the old animation. Like, I don't know why. But alongside with that, definitely go check out the teaser trailer while you're at it. But they also did make the announcement that not only the OG cast is going to be returning, but they're going to be including Zendaya as part of it. And she will be playing one of Shrek and Fiona's children. And again, we don't know what the plot is going to be consist of. So hopefully once we get the official trailer, then we'll talk about like thoughts and theories of what could Shrek 5 bring in. So anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. We finally got a first look of how Carl Urban is going to be looking like as Johnny Cage in the new Mortal Kombat 2 movie. So far, I'm like, obviously it's giving dangerous, rebel, and I can't wait. And while you look at that, you also get to see how the logo is going to be looking at for the sequel of this movie. So far, we still don't have a trailer nor a teaser trailer, but they did say that Mortal Kombat 2 will be in theaters on October 24th of this year, so I cannot wait. In other news, in case you guys didn't know, Spider-Man 4 has been delayed by 1 week, and it will be pushing that release date until January 31st of 2026. It's still until next year, but then again, if you think about it, that gives it a 2-week gap after the Odyssey movie, which is going to be the next thing we're going to be talking about. So we already know that the casting in this movie, the Odyssey, is stacked. And I was so surprised when I found out that Mia Goth has also been casted in this movie. And I'm like, oh my god. So me personally, I think Mia is an underrated actress. If you haven't seen Pearl, definitely go check it out. I know it's available on Prime Video, but it's like, oh my god, the way how she acts, I'm like, sweet Jesus, I have not seen any other actress or even actor to do what she does in Pearl. So I'm like, this is good. I don't know what she's gonna do in the Odyssey, but I'm already ready for it. And since we're still talking about this movie, I don't know if you guys heard that little drama that's been going on with Universal, but apparently there were a few first look images of Matt Damon in this movie, but then all of a sudden, like, those images got taken down by Universal and nobody could see it anymore. but thanks to screenshots and all of that, people still manage to have access to these images. You already know it's not going to be like an ordinary live action film like modernized. It's going to be like back in the day, so be prepared. I have a feeling the Odyssey is going to be really good, regardless of how this amazing cast is going to be. But anywho, let me go ahead and move it along. The last thing I have for you guys in the movies category is that Green Day is going to be getting a movie based on the band's early days. So this I found through rockfeed.net. And it says Green Day is producing a new comedy film titled New Year's Rev, inspired by their early touring experiences. The story follows three friends who embark on a cross-country trip to Los Angeles, mistakenly believing that they're on set to open for Green Day on New Year's Eve. It also says that the film is reportedly in the works and features actors from The Office. So I'm like, interesting. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in the movies category. Now let's go ahead and move on to the television category, starting off with Twisted Metal Season 2. So we got the official teaser trailer, but if you have played the game before, you kind of already have an idea what season 2 is going to be all about. And I'm so excited because the way how season 1 ended, I'm like, oh my god. So I've been so excited for this. And we finally got a first look of how Calypso is going to be. And not only that, I was not expecting to see Mr. Grimm, Axel, and we finally got Dollface for that as well. So I'm like, oh my god. And of course, we cannot forget about the GOAT, Sweet 2 himself. So I'm like, it was funny too because Samoa Joe came back to AEW and I'm like, hold up, it's been a minute. And then it hit me, I'm like, wait a second. Does that mean that he finally finished filming season 2 of Twisted Metal? So I was like, only time would tell whenever the trailer would come out, and then bam, we got it. Literally right when Captain America Brave New World was out, which by the way, I watched the movie. It was mid, but still, I'm like, I'm getting sidetracked. This official teaser trailer is available for you guys to watch, and it's just giving you guys like a quick recap of what happened in the first season. Again, it is available to watch on Peacock. I'm excited because season 2 of Twisted Metal is going to be released on summer of this year. So it could be, May, June, July. I don't care. It's going to be this year, so I am ready for it. And once it does come out, we're going to be talking about it. Now let's talk about Daredevil. And we're already excited for the first season to be coming out on Disney+. Hell, we already got like clips here and there about how the first season is going to look. I'm going to get ahead of myself only because of outdated information. But in case you guys didn't know, season 2 is already underway, production and everything. But we found out one of the people that have been casted for season 2 is none other than Matthew Lielers. I'm like, oh my god. So I don't know what to assume, whether he's gonna be playing like a villain or he's helping out Daredevil. I don't know. I'm excited. It was funny because when I found out the announcement, it was through Culture Crave, and one person by the name of Dom_Edwards22 said Daredevil Season 2 is a prequel to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Confirm. And I'm like, doesn't make any sense, but I'm like, I'm all for it. But yes, I cannot wait to see him. So that gives me even more motivation to watch season 1 of Daredevil and renew my Disney Plus subscription. Now let's go ahead and move it along. So this news is for my Twilight fans, which I honestly thought we wrapped up the franchise, but it looks like there's a possibility it might be continuing on. In case you guys didn't know, Taylor Lautner will star in the Amazon series called Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. It says here, and again I found the news through Culture Crave, it says it's set in an alternate reality where after filming the Twilight films, he joins a secret society of werewolf trackers who need his unique skills. Hollywood actor by day, supernatural warrior by night. The social media account Now This also reported the news, and they posted on one of the slides the official logline for the series that says, after wrapping the final Twilight film, Taylor Lautner vanished from the spotlight. Fans speculated, tabloids theorized, but the truth is wilder than fiction. Taylor wasn't just taking a mental health break, he was preparing for this real calling. Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. Playing himself, Taylor is drawn into a secret society of werewolf trackers who need his unique expertise. As he navigates his double life, Hollywood actor by day, supernatural warrior by night, Taylor must wrestle with the ultimate irony, fighting the very creatures that made him famous. Between saving the world, reviving his career, and falling in love, he faces the ultimate question. What happens when your biggest role becomes your greatest enemy? I mean, headline-wise, sure, it sounded like a good idea, but after you read this, it's like a little bit odd. I don't think it's gonna hype up a lot of people, but hey, you know what? That's why it kicks off first, and who knows if Amazon will renew it for a second season, so stay tuned for that. So far, we only know about the details. No trailer has been released, but maybe we'll talk about it whenever it does come out. Now let's go ahead and move it along. Now we're going to be talking about Euphoria Season 3. So far, the TV series is currently in production. I've been seeing a lot of videos on TikTok of like behind the scenes of some of the scenes being recorded and whatnot. In case you guys didn't know, they already did announce like the casting of Season 3, even though regardless like how some of the cast members either left or, you know, may they rest in peace. They did make the announcement that the Spanish singer Rosalia actually joined the cast for Season 3. So far, there's a lot of mixed emotions about it, only because, yeah, people want the OG cast back, but adding on to new cast members, and regardless if they're famous or not, people are like, yeah, I don't think Season 3 is gonna do so well, might as well just cancel it. I don't know. I'm excited for it because, again, I don't know what the storyline is gonna pertain now that it's not gonna be the same since Angus Cloud is no longer in the picture. But again, it did left us with a big cliffhanger from Season 2, so I don't know. I'm just gonna watch it out of curiosity and see how it goes. Now let's go ahead and move it along and talk about House of the Dragon Season 3. This is news that is a little bit outdated, but hey, might as well find out now. So in case you guys didn't know, Season 3 will be kicking off the Battle of the Gullet, which is one of Westeros' bloodiest sea clashes. And I went to the comment section, and so far, like me personally, I'm thinking, let me find out Season 3 is just the Battle of the Gullet. But some people are also thinking like, man, might as well just start off with the actual war and not leading up to the events, given that Season 2 was kind of boring-ish. And I'm like, yeah, sure. The only bummer too about this is that Season 3 is probably going to be like a couple episodes. Like, it's not even going to be 10 episodes or God knows what. But Warner Brothers or whoever's in charge of this whole franchise, please don't let us down with Season 3. We kind of already know what's going to happen in House of the Dragon, but we just want to see it on screen. Even better. Come on, do y'all's job. The next thing we need to talk about is the renewal of Season 3 for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. So they posted on social media, thank you Culture Crave once again, that says, jumping forward several years from the events of Season 2, Season 3 will take place at the height of the War of the Elves and Sauron. Trust me, I have no knowledge of the Lord of the Rings, so I'm sorry if I butcher that. And it continues to say, as the Dark Lord seeks to craft the one ring that will give him the edge he needs to win the war and conquer all Middle Earth at last. So far, there's no news when this will be in production nor the release date on that one, but if you guys are so excited, which a lot of Lord of the Rings fans are, definitely go check out the first and the second season, while the third one is going to be in development soon. The next thing we need to talk about is that Netflix is reportedly creating a Dungeons and Dragons live action series. The person directing the series is none other than Sean Levy, who's also known for directing Deadpool and Wolverine. I actually don't have that much knowledge when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. I try to like pay attention to it. I mean, I've seen a little bit on Stranger Things, but luckily for me, I am currently dating somebody who has more knowledge than that. Maybe he'll explain it to me, and eventually we'll talk about it whenever the series comes out on Netflix. I still haven't even seen the movie, the one with Chris Pine on it, but I heard it did so bad, so yeah, there's that. The last thing I have for you guys in the TV's category is that HBO executives expect that The Last of Us series will run for at least 4 seasons. I'm over here still worried about Season 2, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what could Season 3 and 4 would be covering, given the fact that we don't even have part 3 for the video game itself. So I don't know what to expect, but I feel like at that point, if it says it's gonna run for 4 seasons, I think it's just gonna cover all up until part 2 of the video game, which is kind of like a bad thing since season 1 covered most of part 1. And then what? 3 seasons are gonna cover part 2? And I went to the comments section from IGN's and social media, and one person by the name of D.main.event, you know, the main event, says, so they're gonna milk the second game into 3 seasons, whack, House of the Dragon treatment, which, by the way, yes, I do agree with that. I don't know, it could be a good thing, a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like, with fans who are also particularly interested in Pedro Pascal, we would love to see him more on the show. So given with the trailer that we got from season 2, again, I'm really worried how it's gonna happen. I feel like at that point, like kind of like Walking Dead situation, the moment Pedro Pascal or, you know, Joel dies in the series, I think a lot of us will probably start watching the show. So we'll see how that will go. And with that being said, that wraps up all I have for you guys in the TV category. Now let's dive into music. I have a lot of stuff, so we're gonna go ahead and kick off with Sleep Token. So the band released a new website called showmehowtodanceforever.com, and people are assuming like, okay, if this is the new initiation of a website, there's a possibility that maybe new music will come around. And we actually did say in the beginning of this year that Sleep Token was going to release new music, because it's been a while since we've heard from them. And plus, they just wrapped up their tour in Europe, so yeah, this can only mean that. So when you click on the website, you get to see the Sleep Token logo at the very top, and it says choose your allegiance. You get to choose between House Viridian and the Feathered Host. On House Viridian, it says the house must endure, and the Feathered Host says the cycle must end. So it's like, it's like you're for something or against it, you know? And also, is it me, or does the logos kind of like give you Destiny the game vibes, you know? It's really hard for me to choose which one, but because I like to be rebellious, I'm probably gonna click the Feathered Host. So I'm actually on the website right now as we do it, and it tells you, oh, type in your email, you know, and I'm over here like, okay, say less, I'll go ahead and do that. And once you submit it, it says with gratitude. And after that, you check your emails and you just get that. Like the email says, gather Feathered Host. That's the subject line. And then it says, the cycle must end alongside with the logo. Luckily for me, I have 2 different emails, so I went ahead and did the same thing for House Viridian, and it's the same exact thing. It says, gather House Viridian. Once you click on it, same thing. The house must endure along with the logo. And I'm just like, okay. But to top it off, if you go on social media, there are 2 accounts for those respective sites, whatever. One of them is Feathered Host. That's it, at Feathered Host. And the other one is at House Viridian. If you go on Instagram, I think you will have to request to follow the account. I already followed them, but so far they haven't accepted it. But for those that are already following the accounts and have been accepted to see the content, the only thing that is posted on both of those accounts is 2 separate sheets. I don't know if it's the same music, whatever, but one person actually posted on TikTok how the song Feather Host sounds like, and it's just like a little melody if you want to hear it. And that's as far as I'm gonna put it, because I don't want to get copyrighted by Universal. Either way, a lot of fans, including myself, are excited of the possibility we might be getting new music from Sleep Token. So hooray! And yes, I know, like, I've been mentioning that Sleep Token was under my radar for a long time, so I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to listen to them more often. But we gotta move it along with other news. So, but yeah, stay tuned just in case if there is new music that's gonna be slowly releasing by Sleep Token. Now I need to talk about Alex Terrible just really quick. So Homeboy literally posted a video on his social media. I want to say this was just on Instagram, of a new potential mask, and it's giving baby metal vibes, and oh my god, I love it. It's Grizzly Mask, the new version of the Kid of Darkness mask, but it is red, demonic looking, and the eyes, there's eyes on the mask, and I'm like, I want this so bad. Like, forget the other masks, including the one that I have behind me, but I really want that mask. But there's more designs that are going to be coming out, and even Alex teased it a little bit, but I'm like, this specific mask looks expensive. I don't think I'll ever get my hands on it, but if I ever win the lottery, there will be signs. Just know that. And speaking of which, in case you guys didn't know, Alex teased that Slaughter to Prevail will be making a collab song with Baby Metal. That's why I'm like, why is it giving me that kind of vibe? So who knows? Maybe like if they do release the song and potentially a music video, bam, we got the mask for it. I'm excited. I can't wait for that. Now let's go ahead and move it along with other news. So this movie that's going to be coming out, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm surprised that even then we didn't see a trailer for it, but there's this movie called Queen of the Ring that's going to be coming out. And the only reason why I found out about it, and the reason why we're talking about it on the music category, is because the song that is called Dust in the Wind was covered by Corey Taylor and Bad Omens. I'm like, what the hell? I swear to God, there has been so many things happening in 2025 that my bingo card, I didn't even write it because I already know there's going to be a lot of shit that was going to be unexpected and it was going to happen this year. This particular collab was not on the bingo card. So when you hear it, it's a very slow song, you know, but it is giving the vibe for the soundtrack of Queen of the Ring. And when you hear it, it's like, I could fall asleep. It's so peaceful. The way how Corey and Noah's voice literally just blends with the song. I'm over here thinking, will we possibly be getting either more collabs, maybe in the heavier version of these two, or are we able to see them maybe tour together? But then again, I'm like, I think it would just be Corey Taylor and Bad Omens. I don't think it would be like Slipknot or Stone Sour, which, by the way, there is a possibility of a reunion for Stone Sour and maybe a reunion tour at that. So I don't know, but either way, definitely go listen to Dust in the Wind. Again, it's by Corey Taylor and Bad Omens. It's definitely worth to listen to. And since we're already on the topic of that, there was also another song that was released for the soundtrack of this movie, and this one is by Kitty Diamante and The Pretty Wild for the song The Unforgiven, you know, the one from Metallica. Definitely listen to that as well. And then check out the movie. So Queen of the Ring is actually going to be released this coming Friday on March 7th. I want to watch it because, again, it is based on a true story of a female wrestler whose name is Mildred Burke. I never heard of her. This is the first time I hear about her, but it's going to be based on her story. And then there are going to be some female wrestlers in the past that are going to be portrayed by wrestlers that we know of now. One of them is Toni Storm. I could have sworn I also saw Mickie James in that casting, but at the same time, I'm like, whatever. I want to watch it, support it, and see what it's all about. Now, speaking on Corey Taylor, we need to talk about Slipknot really quick. So they were currently performing in Australia for Knotfest along with, you know, Baby Metal, Slaughter, Prevail, and many other bands. But my thing is that there was something that I never thought would happen in Australia that is making me cry all the way over here in the United States. So Slipknot performed Gematria, the Killing Name, for the very first time. And I'm like, oh, to see that song performed live. And I know the lyrics by heart, by the way. I think Gematria and Deluded are one of the most underrated Slipknot songs. So I actually got the set list and it tells you right here what songs they perform. And I was surprised that, you know, some of them were like from the self-titled album. So the first song was the 742617000 blah 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 27 whatever. And then after that is Sick, then People Equal Shit, then it was Gematria, then Wait and Bleed, No Life, Yen. I'm like, I guess. Tattered and Torn, but this is the Sid remix. And then there's The Devil and I, The Heretic Anthem, Psychosocial, Unsainted, Duality. And then they had 3 songs for the encore, which was Spit It Out, Surfacing, and Scissors. It was funny too because like I follow all the members of Slaughter to Prevail on social media, and a few of them were posting that they were watching Slipknot perform live. So I got to see a little bit of Gematria, and I'm over here like, to be them, I swear. But yeah, I'm loving the fact that they did bring it, and I'm like praying and hoping if Slipknot ever does decide to tour over here in North America, please can y'all perform Deluded and Gematria, please and thank you. So yeah, anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. We need to talk about more band announcements for Vans Warped Tour. So the tickets have been on sale, just know that. But now they're starting to reveal more of the bands that are going to be performing. And I want to say like each city is like kind of different, but also similar. So some bands may not perform like, let's say, Orlando and Washington, D.C., but they are going to be performing in LA only. So I'm only going to give you guys some of the ones that I'm very interested in seeing perform live. But unfortunately, because of how expensive it's going to be for me, I might not go see them. And I really want to. And all because of freaking Slaughter to Prevail. I was not expecting it. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, Slaughter to Prevail is actually going to be performing in all 3 days that Warped Tour is going to be happening. And by the way, they're like spread out those days. So I want to say in LA, they're going to be like during July, and Washington, D.C. is going to be in June. But Warped Tour Orlando is going to be like in November. I'm like, sweet Jesus. But yeah, Slaughter to Prevail is also going to be there. But like, for example, I'm looking at Orlando's lineup. They have like Attila, Black Bill Brides of all people, Escape the Fate, but then also Falling in Reverse. So we know Ronnie Radke's gonna be there. He can perform either or. Fever 333, which I actually got to see them live when they were opening for Slipknot and Killswitch Engage. I'm seeing Gym Class Heroes. I'm like, sweet Jesus, I haven't listened to Gym Class Heroes since I was like in middle school, so it's been a minute. Other people that I also see was Plain White Tees, and I'm like, you know how much I would love to see Hey There Delilah perform live? Hell, I will go over there and be like, hey, my name is Delilah, sing to me, just me. Other bands that are going to be performing is New Year's Day, Nothing Nowhere, Of Mice and Men, Senses Fail, Story of the Year, The Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Bended, and then I got thrown off when I saw Young Gravy on here, but he's also going to be there. There's many other bands as well that are going to be performing, so if you guys are interested in attending, are already attending, check the date that you're planning to go and look at the lineup, or maybe you have and be excited about it. Must be nice to have that money. I mean, we might as well just kick off the tour announcements that I got for you guys, starting off with Louder Than Life. So they announced their lineup, and literally Thursday all up until Sunday, it is stacked. So keep in mind, this festival is going to be taking place on September 18, 19, 20, and 21 of this year in Louisville, Kentucky. So starting off on Thursday, headlining will be Slayer, alongside with Lamb of God, Down, Calvera, Carcass, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, Cannibal Corpse, Exodus, The Black Dahlia Murder, Fear Factory, Lorna Shore, Kubla Khan, Texas, The Story So Far, Neck Deep, Drain, From Ashes to New, Atreyu, Set It Off, Catch Your Breath, Peeling Flesh, and more. Then on Friday, we got Avenged Sevenfold, Breaking Benjamin, Mudvayne, Insane Clown Posse, Static X, Dope, Nonpoint, Sleep Token, Spirit Box, Dayseeker, Purvis, I think that's how you pronounce it, All Time Low, Hollywood Undead, Story of the Year, Of Mice and Men, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Dream Theater, Powerwolf, Dragon Force, Demon Hunter, Hatebreed, Whitechapel, Suicide Silence, Miss May I, Throne, Walls of Jericho, Thornhill, Dead, Islander, and more. A little bit stacked if you ask me. But then we got Saturday. We got Deftones, A Perfect Circle, Stone Temple Pilots, Acid Bath, Failure, Superhaven, Quanic, Bad Omens, I Prevail, Motionless in White, Black Bill Brides, Fleshwater, The Funeral Portrait, Return to Dust, Trivium, Machine Head, August Burns Red, Spirit World, Cypress Hill, Kitty, Spinehawk, Snot, The Union Underground, of course, Chiodos, Let Live, Blessed to Fall, Hawthorne Heights, from first to last. Oh my god, it's been a minute since I listened to them. But this is without Sunny Moore, or, Skrillex. Attack on Tack, Woe Is Me, Small Town Titans, Smile Empty Soul, and more. And lastly, to wrap it up on Sunday, we got Bring Me the Horizon, Evanescence, Knocked Loose, Slaughter to freaking Prevail. Oh my god, I wish I could see them. Anywho, and then we got Memphis Mayfire, Escape the Fate, Suicide Boys. That was kind of odd, but hey. We got 3 Days Grace, 2X, I hope. Wage War, We Come as Romans, Tech 9, The Plot in You, Sleep Theory. But then I see something blurred on purpose right above Flyleaf. And this is with Lacey Storm, by the way. So I'm like, hooray. But yeah, I'm like, who's the band that's blurred? Is this supposed to be like a surprise or something? Let me find out. But yes, as I mentioned, Flyleaf. But then there's Hinder, Crossfade, 10 Years, Rev Theory, 12 Stones, Bruce Dickinson, Testament, Sebastian Bach. Well, it makes sense why Falling in Reverse is not there. But anywho, we also have the Dillinger Escape Plan, Glassjaw, Counterparts, Dying Wish, Norma Jean, It Dies Today, Gates to Hell, Wargasm, The Haunt, and more. Of course, those tickets are already on sale. You can actually go to louderthanlifefestival.com and get your passes. So far, like, the cheapest obviously is the 4-day general admission for $379.99 plus fees. And I'm like, great, I don't want that. I want, VIP, because I don't plan to be with the crowds. I get major claustrophobia, and then of course it's going to be hot, which I can only assume. But there are VIP packages. For example, the 4-day VIP is almost $730 plus fees. So yeah, and that does not include accommodation, guys. I checked. I'm like, if I were to drive from Louisville, Kentucky, from where I'm at, it's literally over 14 hours of a drive. And I'm like, hell to the fucking no. That's why I'm like, I can't do those kind of festivals. And we don't even have that good festivals here in Houston. So I'm kind of sad about it. But yeah, do what you will with that information. If you guys are interested, definitely go buy your passes on that website. The next thing I wanted to talk about, we already mentioned who's going to be performing at Download Festival, but we finally know the schedule of which bands are going to be performing on what day. So I got you guys covered. Of course, keep in mind those tickets are already on sale if you guys are interested in attending. Kicking off on Friday, June the 13th. Headlining that day is going to be Green Day alongside with Weezer, Jimmy Eat World, Rise Against, Boston Manor, CKY, and SIM or SIM. They will be performing at the Apex stage. And then at the Opus stage, we're going to have Within Temptation, Opeth, Miles Kennedy, if you guys do not know, Alter Bridge, just saying. And then there's gonna be Starset, North Lane, Dirty Honey, and The Scratch. Then we have the Avalanche stage hosted by Kerrang Radio. Performing will be McFly, Elliot Minor, Crossfade, Trophy Eyes, Bad Nerves, The Mefs, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Unpeople, Dead Pony, and Karen Dio. And then the last stage is called the Dogtooth stage. We got Apocalyptica, Avior, Alcest, Vola, Volbar, Windhand, Graphic Nature, Riding the Low, Gore, Battlesnake, and The Haunt. So those are who are performing on Friday. Now let's go ahead and move to Saturday, June 14th. At the main Apex stage, we got Sleep Token, which again, a lot of people are not happy, but enjoy it because come on, they're up and coming. Then they're going to be joined alongside with Shinedown, Don Brocco, Palais Royale, Poppy, Hatebreed, Load, and Static Dress. Then at the Opus stage, we got the Sex Pistols, The Darkness, Eagles of Death Metal, Polaris, Owl Nation, Currents, Kim Dracula, and Sophie Lloyd. At the Avalanche stage, hosted by Kerrang Radio, we got Dayseeker, Mallory Knox, Twin Atlantic, Smash Into Pieces, Mothica, Lolo, I think that's how it is. Split Chain, Venus Girls, and Bags. And then lastly at the Dogtooth stage, we got Cradle of Filth, Colossus, I think that's how you pronounce it. Kitty, Anal Nathrak, never heard of him. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. The Funeral Portrait, Teen Mortgage, Holy Wards, Underside, Zetra, Bastard Dane, Lastel, and Ardio. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then lastly, on Sunday, June 15, at the Apex stage, headlining will be Korn, alongside with Bullet for My Valentine, Spirit Box, Mesh Sugar, Ginger, Power Trip, Bleed From Within, and Orbit Culture. At the Opus stage, we got Steel Panther, Lorna Shore, Airborne, Jerry Cantrell, Alien Ant Farm, Municipal Waste, The Ghost Inside, Nothing More, 7 Hours After Violet, and the Southern River Band. At the Avalanche stage, hosted by Kerrang Radio, we got Kids in Glass Houses, me, and the Gimme Gimmes. That's fun. I think I need to put that on my radar. That's a funny band name. We also got Turbo Negro, Dead Poet Society, House of Protection, Spiritual Cram, Amira Efiki. Oh, I never heard of them. Sorry if I butchered that name. Then we have Arrows in Actions and Harpy. Lastly, at the Dogtooth stage, we got Skith, Whitechapel, Fit for an Autopsy, Cattle Decapitation, Novelist, Unprocessed, President, Vows, Survive Set the Prophet, Vower, Facetooth, Archers, and Neckbreaker. Again, Download Festival will be at the Donington Park on June 13 all up until the 15th. And yes, those tickets, you can get them at downloadfestival.co.uk. I know we mentioned Lorna Shore just now, so I'm like, hey, we got some outdated news because those tickets are on sale. But in case you guys didn't know, they made the announcement that they will be going on tour in Europe with Fit for an Autopsy, Signs of the Swarm, Mental Cruelty, and Shaver. I think that's how you pronounce it. They will be kicking off the tour on June 5th in Berlin, Germany. And it does say, like, on some dates it varies by band. For example, the very first day they're gonna be with Signs of the Swarm and Mental Cruelty, but then on the next day, on June 6th, they're gonna be in Dresden, Germany. They're just gonna be with Mental Cruelty and Shaver. So if you guys are interested in seeing them live, just check which bands are gonna be performing, but it's all gonna be Lorna Shore. Alongside with the tour dates, they also did include the dates that they're gonna be in festival, like Rock AM, Hellfest, and Tons of Rock, and so many other festivals. So yeah, definitely go check it out if you guys are interested. Again, those tickets have been on sale since Valentine's Day. The next festival announcement I have for you guys is Summer of 99 and Beyond Festival. So this one is for the oldies. Didn't want to offend people, but these are like from back in the days bands, but hey, I listen to them. So in case you guys didn't know, this festival will be taking place at the Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy, Wisconsin. Tickets are already on sale, but it's gonna be on Friday, July the 18th, all up until Saturday, July the 19th. On Friday, headlining that day will be Nickelback, alongside with Live Plus. I don't know if that's the band, but alongside with that will be Daughtry, Tonic, Our Lady Peace, and Lit. See, I would like to see Our Lady Peace perform, especially that one time when they actually performed Whatever. They haven't performed that song in such a long time, but yeah, people were like, where's Chris Benoit? So anywho, on the next day, Saturday, July 19th, headlining will be Creed. Alongside with them is going to be Three Doors Down, Seven Dust, Mammoth WVH, Hinder, Vertical Horizon, and Feel. Again, those tickets are on sale if you guys are interested in going. The next festival we need to talk about is Summer of Loud. This one is different because it's not going to be in one venue. They're actually going to be like on tour, kind of like Vans Warped Tour. And they did say that lineup varies by the market, but here are going to be the bands that are going to be performing at this festival. It's going to be Beartooth, I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive, The Immediate Affliction, The Devil Wears Prada, Alpha Wolf, TKZ, Kingdom of Giants, and Dark Divine. The very first stop they're going to be at is going to be on June 21st at West Palm Beach, Florida. And then, of course, every couple of days they're going to make their way up until Houston. We got a date on June 27th. And then they're going to be ending that tour on July 27th at Charlotte, North Carolina. If you guys are interested in going, you can visit summerofloud.com for tickets, which are now on sale. The next festival announcement I have for you guys, this is the first time I hear this exist. It's called Shaky Knees Music Festival. And this one is going to be taking place on September 19th all up until the 21st at Piedmont Park in Atlanta. The very first day on Friday, headlining the day, is going to be Deftones. Alongside with them, they're going to be joined by Lenny Kravitz, Sublime, The Marias, Pixies, Idols, Spoon, Inhaler, Joey Valence and Bray, Lambrini Girls, and Sarah Kinsley. On Saturday, headlining that day will be My Chemical Romance. And alongside with them will be Cage the Elephant, The Black Keys, Public Enemy, The Backseat Lovers, TV on the Radio, The All American Rejects, and many more. I'm not going to list all the bands because it's a lot. And then on Sunday, headlining that day will be Blink-182 alongside with Vampire Weekend, Alabama Shakes, Lucy Dacus, Devo, Wet Leg, Four Non-Blondes, Franz Ferdinand, and many more. It also says special guest Weird Al Yankovic, and I don't know if it's for that particular date or for all 3 dates, so I don't know. Either way, if you guys aren't interested, tickets are also on sale right now at shakykneesfestival.com. The next festival, I'm very tempted to go, maybe just for Saturday. But the festival is presented by Pepsi. It's called Rock the South. And it's going to be taking place on June 19th to the 21st in Coleman, Alabama. I'm like, oh my God, that's close to my hometown. So far on the dates, on Thursday, for example, headlining will be Hank Williams Jr. alongside with Treaty Oak Revival, Clay Walker, Ty Myers, and Hudson Westbrook. On Friday, headlining will be Kid Rock, and joined with him will be Three Doors Down, Ole 60, Vincent Mason, Them Dirty Roses, and Afro Man. And then on Saturday, headlining will be Nickelback alongside with Gavin Adcock, Shenandoah, Baker Blankenship, Cameron Whitbomb, and Rehab. If you guys are interested in going, tickets are now on sale at rockthesouth.com. The next festival is for my UK people, and it's kind of odd. So like, what does Chapel Roan, Bring Me the Horizon, and Travis Scott have in common? Well, they're all going to be performing in Reading UK from August the 22nd all up until August the 24th. So every day is different. I want to say Saturday is more like a rock kind of vibe, because on Friday, August the 22nd, headlining will be Hozier and Chapel Roan, and they're going to be joined alongside with the Kooks, Block Party, AJ Tracy, Rudimental, I think that's how you pronounce it, Wallows, Soft Play, Lola Young, The Chats, and many more. And then on Saturday, August the 23rd, we got Bring Me the Horizon, Limp Bizkit, Becky Hill, Enter Shikari, Conan Gray, Wunderhaus, Bakker, Royale Otis, and many more. And then on Sunday, August the 24th, we got Travis Scott, D Block Europe, Sammy Virgi, Trippie Redd, Emil and the Sniffers, Suki Waterhouse, and many more. Yeah, some of these artists I never heard of, but I feel like I got kind of the vibe when I was mentioning it earlier at Download Festival. So I'm like, maybe there are European artists that I'm not familiar with because my ignorance is only limiting me over here in the United States. The last tour announcement I have for you guys is by Pantera. They are calling it the heaviest tour of the summer, and they're going to be joining with the support of Amon Amarth. So they're going to kick off this tour on July 15th in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania. And then they're going to make their way into a few small cities. Unfortunately, Texas only has 2 stops, one in Austin and the other one in Dallas. And they're going to be wrapping up the tour on November 13th in West Palm Beach, Florida. Those tickets are now on sale on Ticketmaster. And here's the funny part. I was just looking and I'm like, why am I saying unfortunately? Of course, there is a Houston stop for Pantera only, not Amon Amarth. And that's going to be with Metallica when they're going to be here in June. So I'm like, never mind, I'm good. But that's just me. But again, tickets are on sale if you guys want to see Pantera and Amon Amarth. The last thing I have for you guys in the music category, and it's technically leaning towards the gaming category, so I might as well do this, is WWE 2K25's soundtrack release. So I know this game has been talked about for quite some time, but I wanted to touch base on the music. It's so much different. It's like back in the days kind of soundtrack. But it's also mixed with, like rock, hip hop, even country. Like for example, we got Halfway to Hell by Jelly Roll, Suffocate by Knock Loose featuring Poppy, Hurt You by Spirit Box, but then we got Fuel by Eminem featuring Gio, I think that's who it is. And then we also have Double XXO by J Balvin and Feed. So I'm like, what the hell? But alongside with that, we also have Only Pain by Gojira, Cursed by The Architects, The Thin Gray Line by Suicide Boys, It's Supposed to Hurt by House of Protection, Ratatatata by Baby Metal and Electric Callboy, Hurts by Emil and the Sniffers, Pack-a-Punch by Joey Valence and Brave featuring Danny Brown, Arabi by Mohammed Ramadan featuring Future and Masari. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then we got Backbone by Chase and Status and Stormzy. And then lastly, Black Flag Freestyle by Denzel Curry and Dat Mexican OT. And since we are now in the gaming category, the next thing I wanted to talk about is Five Nights at Freddy's. Already we got a new game, and this is called Secret of the Mimic. Come on. I'm already fed up with the extra games. Like, I want a continuation of the actual Five Nights at Freddy's storyline, but all of these new games is just like expanding the storyline to a whole different level. And I'm like, I want the OGs back, please and thank you. So this game is just the same way as Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So if you think about it, okay, I love the fact that it's no longer like, how do I explain it? So Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, and 3 for sure. You're only in one position. That's it. Like, you can just move left or right, but that's about it. And then 4 came around where you can slightly move from different areas and still play the game. But then Sister Location, it's like, oh, okay, we can move around, but after that, it's like on certain areas, you're still like having the same way as Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, where you're in one position, but then on other ones, you can move around. It's crazy how we finally managed to make it to where Security Breach and Secret of the Mimic, where now you can move around a lot and still have the feel of Five Nights at Freddy's. But again, I feel like storyline wise, it's now a little bit exaggerated, and they say, oh, well, with Security Breach, it still tangles in there. But at the same time, it's like, for example, there's this character, Glitch Trap. It has nothing to do with Springtrap, because I'm over here looking at the wiki for it, and it says here that Glitch Trap, also known as the Anomaly or Malhare by fans, is the main antagonist of the cooperative series of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. And I'm like, what? And I was thinking like, wait, is Glitch Trap the same thing as Springtrap? And it's like, no, it's a whole different thing. So now when we're looking at this new game, The Secrets of Mimic, whatever, the Mimic is a character from the books of Five Nights at Freddy's, which, by the way, you guys should know by now, I don't read books. I fall asleep. So more reasons of why my ignorance on here does not understand why there needs to be another game. And now it's mainly focused on the Mimic. So I got to see this character. And again, the wiki says The Mimic is the central antagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's Cooperate series and the Tales from the Pixaplex series. Mimic also appears as a secondary antagonist in the Ruin DLC for Security Breach. So some of you guys that have played the game with the DLC have already encountered this character, but now here on this new upcoming game, we get to see more of it and have an explanation of why this animatronic was made to mimic other animatronic characters. So I'm like, what? And I get it. I think some of you guys are probably like, oh, but have you played, Five Nights at Freddy's Pizza Simulator? Like, that closed the chapter of the original storyline. But at the same time, I'm like, I need more. There should be more of why, like, this guy who they call the purple guy, like, why did he do it? And I guess, like, in the movie itself, like, that's why we're getting Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Maybe we might get more explanation out of it. But again, video game wise, it doesn't make any sense anymore. And I'm surprised people are still, like, buying the game, interacting with it. Then again, I'm also talking about myself too. But, like, reading the books and try to find more storylines to make out of this and continue it on, I'm just like, why? Like, I miss the computer games, like the horror games and everything that came with Five Nights at Freddy's. But now it's just like, what the hell? Like, how is this still a thing? Even with the pop figures, like Funko Pop releases like a line of animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm just like, this is the first time I've seen them. Where the hell is this coming from? Because I'm so ignorant when it comes to this. But anywho, back to the game itself. Five Nights at Freddy's, The Secret of the Mimic, is gonna be released on June 13 of this year. So I'm probably just gonna watch Markiplier play it. Again, I'm not gonna waste my money to just see what's gonna happen. I'd rather just watch it and probably get some ideas on the storyline itself. But if you guys are interested in playing it, stay tuned for June 13. And hopefully there aren't any delays, just saying. And honestly, that's the only thing I have for you guys in the gaming category. I did have another thing, but I'm like, it's outdated. Y'all don't need to know. It was Call of Duty and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So anywho, let me go ahead and get on to the wrestling category. In case you guys didn't know, we have Ricky Starks in NXT, which he now goes by Ricky Saints. I'm like, I guess, whatever. So I did not know Homeboy was a free agent, and the moment he became a free agent, boom, he went to NXT right away. It was so hilarious too, because he had like a little mini reunion with Ethan Page, and there was like a little feud going on with them. But so far, Ricky Saints is making a name of himself in NXT. So I'm like, okay, we see that. And since we're already on the topic of people leaving, that I didn't know this. Apparently, there are 3 members that left AEW. One of them was Ricky Starks. The other 2, however, we have to have our eyes peeled just to see where they might go. And that is Malachi Black and Miro, also formerly known as Rusev. So some people are wondering, what if? It's just a big if. For example, with Malachi Black, there is a possibility they want to bring him back, as Aleister Black into WWE. And rumor has it, and again, just a rumor, not saying it might potentially happen. What if, let's say, if the Judgment Day, for example, Dominic Mysterio mentioned that they want to bring in a new member, and Finn Balor's like, no new members, you're not in charge, yada, yada, yada. So people are saying, like, what if that new member happens to be Malachi Black? And what if Malachi Black, or, Aleister Black, ends up bringing the Judgment Day back into gold? And I'm like, I mean, it could happen, but at the same time, now thinking about it, I'm like, Liv Morgan and Raquel ended up getting the women's tag team championship. So I'm like, we're already starting right there. And then here's the other funny part. There was like a few weeks ago, and I found this from Exclusive John Wrestling, where he was doing like the slideshow. Oh, what if, Aleister Black joins the Judgment Day? He also posted here, like, a few weeks back, Chad Gable came to Dominic seeking guidance on how to master, quote, the dark arts of lucha wrestling. And Dominic gave him a phone number and told him to contact someone. And that could possibly be Aleister Black. Why is that? Because him and his wife, Zelina Vega, own the Dark Arts Wrestling School. So like maybe a little cameo, potentially speaking. But other than that, like no word has been said around if Miro might come back to WWE as Rusev. Either way, I feel like with everything that's been going on with the releases from WWE, I don't know if they're probably gonna try to bring people in, or they release those people just to make a little bit more room from either NXT or in the main roster. Because look, for example, like Roxanne Perez, she looks like she's already probably like got called into the main roster. We've seen her more on there, but we also seen her in NXT, so that's a possibility. And if she were to move to the main roster, there's gonna be like an open spot for NXT. And then don't even get me started with that whole collaboration that's been going on with NXT and TNA. So there's so much room. So I don't know what could happen between, Aleister Black, Malachi Black, or, Rusev or Miro. Only time will tell. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled to see where they could end up eventually. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the next inductee for the Hall of Fame 2025. So congratulations to Michelle McCool for being the next inductee. A lot of people do agree that this was very, very outdated. Like it should have been announced a long time ago. And now people are like, we need Lay Cool in the Hall of Fame. So hopefully they bring in Layla eventually. But yes, she deserved it a lot because she's been doing a lot for the Divas division and then transitioning it to what it is now. So yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about really quick is NXT Roadblock. So this past week on NXT, we had some major announcements and I couldn't help but to notice the little pattern that was going on. And the theme is title versus title. So at first I was rooting with the whole like Julia and Stephanie Vaquer going, head to head to combine the championships. And I was like, oh great, but is this going to be until Stand and Deliver? No, it's going to be Roadblock. So this is going to be sometime in March this month before Stand and Deliver. I don't know. I haven't gotten the actual date just yet. Basically, they wanted to combine the championship, but rumor has it is that one of them is really injured and needs the time off. And I have a feeling it's Julia. Why do I say this? Is because Stephanie Vaquer literally opened NXT with a match, and then Julia showed up like nothing. So I'm over here like, I wouldn't mind that Stephanie Vaquer were to win. I love them both. Yeah, so whoever wins, by all means. And then the other match that they wanted to do is with Obafemi and Moose and trying to combine the NXT championship with the Title X division from TNA. So I was like, what the hell is going on? You'd think I was done. No. Fexium, whatever you want to call them, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they challenged the Hardy Boys to a TNA tag team title match. It wasn't even title for title. They just want the TNA tag teams. And I'm like, are they trying to combine them or what? What's going on? But then again, I don't think that's going to happen only because the Hardy Boys still got it. So there's that. Also, I found out Roadblock is literally this Tuesday, March 11th. So it's not going to be like on a Saturday or anything. So I'm like, what the hell is going to happen in Stand and Deliver? Because honestly, title for title matches should have been Stand and Deliver. That would have been good. But at the same time, like with Obafemi and Moose, I don't think they want to intertwine TNA for Stand and Deliver. Like they just want to leave it as NXT only. Who knows? The next thing I have for you guys is the location for where WrestleMania 42 is going to be. And I just want to say, I told you also, even though the last episode was 3 weeks ago, I already told you guys that the prediction was that WrestleMania 42 was going to be in New Orleans. And the pattern literally makes so much sense. So wherever the Super Bowl goes, WrestleMania is going to follow that the next year. Because this is what's happening right now. WrestleMania 41 is going to be in Las Vegas. Obviously, Super Bowl was there last year. And then this year's Super Bowl was in New Orleans at the Caesars Palace. Boom! WrestleMania 42 is going to be in the same location. as far as for WrestleMania 43, we been knew it was gonna be in Indianapolis. And supposedly they're saying that next year's Super Bowl is gonna be there too. So it's like, that makes sense. So I don't know. And I kind of realized maybe the reason why WrestleMania is never gonna be coming to Houston. I hear that our stadium sucks. So I was like, great. I don't think WrestleMania will ever come to Houston because now they are thinking about having the first WrestleMania like outside of the United States. So I'm like, oh, well, there goes that dream. And plus, Houston is way too broke to even make a new stadium. So yeah, we're fucked on that. So Dallas, you win this round. But anywho, yeah, a lot of people were so upset that WrestleMania is going to be happening in New Orleans because they've been in New Orleans like how many times? Is this the third time? Or is it the fourth? I can't remember. I just know it's been more than once. So I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, I'm not planning to drive to New Orleans. I mean, even if I was made of money, I still wouldn't go. I don't know why. It's just no. But anywho, do what you will with that information if you guys are planning to sell y'all's houses for WrestleMania tickets, whatever. Do what you will with that. Let's go ahead and move it along. We're slowly shifting into the events of Elimination Chamber. I just want to mention really quick the fact that in case if y'all missed it, Randy Orton is now back into the WWE, and this was right after the match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which unfortunately Sami lost. And it looks like Kevin was still not done with Sami just yet, even after the match was over. And all of a sudden, we just hear Randy's music, and Homeboy was out for revenge after what Kevin did to him, like potentially injuring him until God knows what. But he's good now, and there's a possibility, we might get to see Randy versus Kevin Owens, which I won't be opposed to seeing. And that would be very entertaining because these two are out for blood. So I can't wait to see that. The next thing we need to talk about, we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, and I had some thoughts and predictions about what the fuck the segment was between The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Lots of memes were made, especially the part where The Rock was over there telling Cody that he wanted his soul. And a lot of people were making jokes saying like, well, if he gets his soul, where is Cody gonna put his adrenaline? You know, get it? Because adrenaline in my soul. And so I would hear stuff like that, and I couldn't put the pieces together until probably 2 days before Elimination Chamber, thanks to TikTok and everybody else's predictions. There was literally one account that predicted exactly what happened at Elimination Chamber last night, and I was like, what the fuck? Why am I barely seeing it afterwards? So many other people also had their thoughts and theories, but this was like years ago. And people are saying, well, they predicted the future, you know, stuff like that. But the segment that I really wanted to talk about is what happened 2 weeks ago at Friday Night SmackDown. You know, again, The Rock was telling Cody that he wanted his soul. In exchange for that, then Cody will get everything like corporate benefits, yada, yada, yada. The thing with me, though, is that the segment was so prolonged that I got bored. A lot of people did get bored. And I get it. The Rock is trying to be a villain while also pulling the corporate card. But I feel like with him, it's like, bro, it doesn't fit well with you. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, at the same time, I'm like, whatever. He does what he does. And then, trust me, whenever he did like the villain for Central Intelligence, that was the same exact thing I was getting with that whole promotion. It was a little bit cringe, if you ask me. But either way, it was like, bro, we get it, but we kind of don't. So it's like, whatever. Okay, we'll see what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. And then they were saying, okay, we want to hear Cody's response, like whether he made up his mind and all, during Elimination Chamber. It could be after, whatever. And the thing is that people were saying, oh, like Elimination Chamber is not doing so well. Like a lot of tickets are not being sold. So they're trying to put that promo during Elimination Chamber to boost the sales up. Not only that, they also did say, oh, guess who else is also going to be appearing at Elimination Chamber? Travis Scott. And I'm like, what the fuck? So because of that, it did boost the tickets. But now it makes so much sense of why they really wanted to boost the tickets. Because they didn't want the crowd to miss out what the fuck happened last night. So, anywho, back to Elimination Chamber. And it's sad I'm not talking about the women's Elimination Chamber, but then again, we'll probably talk about it next week now that we'll feel like what the storyline is going to pertain between Bianca and what the fuck also happened over there. But to the men's Elimination Chamber, John Cena won. And the way how I told you guys so, like in the very beginning, like right after Royal Rumble, we made that episode and I was talking about, hey, I'm starting to get some heel vibes out of this press conference. And I'm like, what is going on? So I kind of told you so, kind of. But the way how John Cena won, keep in mind, I didn't watch Elimination Chamber last night. So I was out with my date watching Drunken Shakespeare for the first time. And then like I'm getting messages from Fiend Warrior 39 like saying, hey, are you watching Chamber? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh my God, it was like the best ending ever. And I'm like, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta go home, rush to figure out what's going on. And then I saw everything. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm not mad that I missed it because, again, I was out on a date. But still, I was like, hold up, what the fuck am I watching? And I couldn't sleep last night because of everybody's reactions to it. When John Cena won Elimination Chamber, I already knew the way how he won. It wasn't the good way. You know, like you could tell how when a baby face wins compared to when a villain wins. Because when a villain, heel, whatever, when they win, it's not fair. It's like they got help from another person. And that's exactly what happened. Seth Rollins is still pissed that Punk ended up taking him out. He's over there beating him up, whatever. And he assists Cena with the win. And again, you can even hear it with Michael Cole's voice. Like, he's like, what the fuck? Hold up. And people could have already knew from then on, like, wait, something's wrong. Like, we could possibly get Cena to betray Cody. And again, there was an account out there on TikTok that predicted it. Another person I also did bump into on TikTok, they also did thought that Cena was going to win. However, they thought Punk was going to be the one that sold out. No matter what, they thought, no, I don't think Cody is going to be selling his soul. We think somebody in the chamber match is going to betray Cody and join the final boss, The Rock, whatever, into whatever strategy they're trying to pull. No one predicted, well, except for one person, but the majority of wrestling fans did not predict that Cena will turn heel. We never saw John Cena heel for how many years? Like 20 plus years? We never thought it could happen. And guess what? It happened. The sad part is that there were hints and I didn't realize it. So in the very beginning, I think was it the very first episode Raw on Netflix? I forgot. The Rock showed up and he pointed out 3, but he did it backwards. Like John Cena does 3 with the hand, you know, facing to you, whatever. You know what I mean? The Rock switched the hand gesture and we were all confused. Like, what does he mean by 3? He was signaling John Cena's hand signature, whatever, with the 3. And then afterwards, John Cena had a press conference, which I was like forgetting to watch, but I was watching it. Thank you, TikTok, for reminding me. When I watched it, he was like coming out, sitting down, and all he did was take the microphone out of the little stand and then just drops it, like mic drop, and then he left, right? But when The Rock came out, it trips me out, but it's funny at the same time, where forget the character mode. Like, he comes in and he's out of character. He's just him. He's Dwayne Johnson answering questions for the business and all of that. I think Papa H, however, like when he does these press conferences, I think he's in character, but still with the aspect of the business. And so people were asking him like questions, like to The Rock, sorry. They were asking him questions like, okay, was this something that y'all were thinking about, or what's the whole deal? And then they were wondering like if The Rock is now a heel or is he a babyface? And I really did like The Rock's answer when he said that he mixes it up a bit. Like, he doesn't want to be heel or babyface. Like, whatever he gives is what the audiences want to react. I feel like him and even Rhea Ripley, for example, can do that. I think Rhea at one point, she was trying to be heel, but the crowd loved her so much that she ended up becoming a babyface, you know? But I feel like she can still be a heel and the crowd's still gonna worship her from head to toe. So it's a good thing that they're able to mix it up a bit. And then literally this morning, I wake up because I follow John Cena on Instagram. He follows me on X, just saying. But anywho, I saw the post that I never thought I would see. My boy posted a picture of the cover of GTA 6. Oh my god. Like, he knows what we're talking about. And he knew that a lot of us were saying we got heel Cena before GTA 6, which is gonna be the title of the podcast episode. But still, like, I started loving every single comment that I kept seeing over here because it was giving me life. Oh my god, like, I am sorry, like, I get it, John Cena was trying to be like a heel for it, but this was a good ass post. One person said, bros leaning into the GTA 6 jokes. One other person says, you just killed Cody Rhodes before GTA 6. Another person, and I agree too, is like, you literally made my whole year, dog. One person said, you mean we got heel John Cena before GTA 6? Another said, we got John posting before GTA 6, before GTA 6. Chris Vanville actually did say, why, John, why? But I'm like, bro, come on, we're living for the jokes. Another person says, John Cena's heel turn before GTA 6 is the meme of the century, literally. And more other comments on here, but it was mostly primarily like we got Cena heel before GTA 6. Like, oh my god, there's so many iconic moments that are happening before GTA 6. Like, come on, John Cena acknowledging GTA 6 before GTA 6. The other thing though, it's like, I feel like a lot of us like that are fans of wrestling, John Cena, whatever, I think a lot of us, yes, we were shocked that he is a heel, but I think we're still gonna support it. Like, I guess the sad thing is that maybe like the Make-A-Wish kids or just kids in general are gonna be in shock, crying over the fact that, their favorite wrestler is now the bad guy. But us adults are supporting it. Like, we wanted this. Like, this is something we never got. And yeah, like, you would hear, like, whenever John Cena will walk out as a babyface, some people would say, John Cena sucks, And it makes so much sense for him to, I don't know if he's going to retire as a heel, but it makes so much sense for him to give us that heel moment. So that way, nobody's going to say, John Cena sucks. Hell, I'm over here thinking, are we gonna get the Doctor of Thugonomics as a heel too? I would love to hear him roast people. Oh my god, this shit is gonna be so excited. Like, I can't believe I'm excited now. But here's the thing I also noticed. How is it that nobody could see John Cena? But the moment he turned heel, everybody saw it. Yeah, shit's weird, but anywho, I don't know what else to say, but I am really excited for WrestleMania. Yeah, we're basically going to be getting Homelander versus Peacemaker. I don't know what to do. Hell, if this is the moment where even Cody is going to have to go full-blown Homelander, I will support it. They're going to kill each other, and I'm here for it. So yeah, I'm excited now for WrestleMania 42. I don't know how we're going to do it. I feel like there's a possibility I might go to a watch party. There's a possibility I will be at home watching it. I don't even know. It's already in almost a month. I'm excited though. I can't wait. It's usually whenever WrestleMania stuff happens, you cannot think, oh, I know what's going to happen because everything's so unpredictable. So I'm excited. I can't wait. And with that being said, that wraps up this week's episode. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at It's Lielers. And also do not forget to follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. Remember what I said in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, there's a possibility we might start doing TikTok lives during the recording of the podcast. And hopefully that way it will make me, hurry up and finish the podcast episodes on time and all of that. But we get to interact and all of that. So, yay, we will see. But anywho, guys, so next week, yes, we're gonna go back to the routine now that, you know, everything's back to normal at home. Even though I'm still going out and whatnot, seeing new people and all of that, I'm still gonna make time for the podcast. So the rest assured, we're coming back on track. But yeah, it was fun. I feel like, yes, for sure, this whole thing that happened with Elimination Chamber is the talk of the century. So I'm really glad that everybody's really talking about it. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen tomorrow. But anywho, it was fun doing this, and as always, I will talk to you guys on the next one.